What's good, people? The boys are back. Victory and Vices podcast, episode 58. Me, Rory Spooner, James Veck. You know he's back to do his thing, people. And look at this. Look at this beautiful set design. What, you thought we were going to stop? 2020, we're taking over almost 10k YouTube views. Thank you to everybody who subscribed. How many subscribers, bro? Over 60?
Well, since the last time.
Since the last time?
We've I guess 65 or 66
Slapped
subscribers
it out.
again.
So that everybody that's watching and is a new subscriber and is seeing us for the first time, God bless, man. We really appreciate it. But yeah, we're doing big things. Big things.
Indeed.
Some big interviews coming over the next couple of months as well, so stay tuned. It's going to be fucking biblical. But on that note, we do have some football news to catch up with.
We do.
So, Liverpool.
Yes.
Everybody's favourite team now, yeah.
It's nice to get one of these kind of episodes back in, isn't it? So,
let's.
Yeah, so I figured that we should do some talking and get some solid content in on Liverpool and City, since it's pretty much just them that does anything towards the top end of the Premier League of any significance.
Yes,
mainly
facts.
Liverpool,
Facts.
but it'd be nice to sort of compare the two.
Okay.
So this sort of piece, I've just called it Liverpool Unstoppable.
It's Liverpool fans out there that are loving this, by the way. Loving it.
And you know, the people who have watched us know that we're United fans.
I'm pretty sure I predicted Liverpool to win the league. Did I not say that?
I think you did do that this
year.
Did
I flip-flop? Because I kind of went one way, then the other, and then Laporte was out injured, and then I went the other way.
We'd have to look back, but I know I definitely went City, and I thought they would do what they did last year at Liverpool, but we'll come to that, right? We'll come to that.
Been embarrassing.
But as people know, we're United fans, but today we're going to give Liverpool a lot of love because they deserve it, and a lot of appreciation.
Can't knock the hustle, bro.
They deserve it, okay?
Cannot knock the hustle.
So obviously the question that's sort of flying around at the moment is, yes, they're top of the league. Yes, they have.
The league is wrapped up, right?
Yeah.
We'll start there. The league is wrapped up. That's done.
They've yet to lose a game, but the question is, can they go unbeaten? Okay. So like you just said, the league has been over for quite some time, and it's just a question of how perfect they can be. So they've only dropped points once this season. They drew to United at the time.
The most random side to drop points to as well.
And some would have argued in that game that United, up until about 80 minutes, did enough to maybe...
I can't even remember that game. Was it that forgetful that I can't remember it?
United were actually pretty decent. It was 1-1.
Who scored for United?
Rashford.
Did he score first or did he score second?
First. And then it was like a Lallana deflected equalising goal.
Oh, okay. Yeah, now I'm up to speed. Yeah.
But typically United did well up to a certain point, couldn't sustain it, right? So we're the only team to take points off Liverpool, which is, I say we're the only teams if that's like a big deal. It's not, but that is a fact, okay? So obviously City hold the record haul, which is 100 points.
Yeah.
And it's now a question if they can equal that or beat it. Or beat it and maybe not go unbeaten, or even better, can they surpass the Arsenal Invincibles and actually beat the 100 points and stay?
Here's a little question for you. Sorry to cut you off, bro. Arsenal Invincibles versus, we're going to hypothetically say Liverpool Invincibles. Should they do it? Who wins?
It's such a tough question, isn't it?
That's a hard question.
Because the sides play completely different football.
Yeah.
And different style. That Arsenal team amassed 90 points in their unbeaten season, and they won 26 games. Obviously, I think Liverpool are probably almost definitely going to beat that. Have you got an answer for why?
Do you know, it's difficult, right? Because it's like you could say Anthony Joshua versus Deontay Wilder.
Yeah.
As long as somebody lands the right punch on the night, they're going to win. It's the same with football, right? You could take United's treble winning team, Arsenal's Invincibles. They could play each other 10
times.
Mourinho's Chelsea. They could all play each other and they could all beat each other, right? But if you go man for man, I'd say that Arsenal team is probably better man for man. The only one who I really don't think would get in either side was Pascal Seagal. That's about the only thing, because he was shit.
You look at it's 5 teams. You've got 2 United teams. You've got the treble of 99. You've got the team that won the Champions League and League in 08. You've got Mourinho's Chelsea said they had 95 points and conceded was just 12 goals, I think it was, or 14 goals.
All bias aside, that Mourinho Chelsea side might be one of my favourite teams of all time.
Incredible side.
My favourite to watch, bro.
And obviously the Arsenal Invincibles and now this Liverpool side, which was superb. It's very difficult, but what I will say is that they look like they're on course to not only beat the points total, but also just to potentially stay unbeaten. Now, I've listed their remaining fixtures here, right? And I've sort of outlined the ones where I think that they could potentially draw points on, if any. So,
okay, cool.
So their next game, they've got Norwich away, which we would expect.
I'd expect 3 points, yeah.
And they then play West Ham home. Again, expect another 3 points.
Everyone's beating West Ham, yeah.
Watford away. I mean, Watford have picked up their form, but I still can't see them getting anything. Bournemouth home should be another 3 points. The Everton away could
that's
be
more
a bit
interesting
more
now.
difficult.
Ancelotti doing well. More interesting, okay.
So, potential.
Yeah.
But I think at worst, I maybe see them kind of drawing it, perhaps.
Yeah, that's the thing. I don't see them losing, though. And again, people at home, let us know your opinion as well. Because I can see Liverpool dropping points in the sense that, they might get a 1-0 draw or 0-0 draw, depending on if they're really unlucky. But I just can't see anyone beating them. It's going to take something either very magical or very lucky, I think, to beat Liverpool.
I agree. If they get through that, they then get a home game against Crystal Palace. Again, you'd expect 3 points there.
Facts, yeah.
The next tough game is away at the Etihad
that's
on the 4th of
April.
April.
That's the one, right? We all know that's the one.
And you know, right, if you're Pep Guardiola, you know that they've done you for the league. They've handed your head on a stick to you, right? This season. There's no way about it.
Yeah.
If you're Pep Guardiola, I can't help but think that he's got so much extra motivation to end that unbeaten streak.
Those lads should be so pumped up for
They'd
that.
be so up for
I
that.
know Laporte watches, right? Bro, wrap yourself in some type of cotton wool, sit out the rest of the fixture. City are going to come second, right?
Yeah.
Save yourselves for that game. Because if Liverpool go unbeaten, man alive.
City, they've actually kind of got it in their hands. I know it's not a huge achievement, right? Stopping a team going unbeaten. They're still going to absolutely spank you for the league. But just to have something over them, to say, we were the only fucking team, you came to our backyard and you ain't leaving with anything.
Bro, that would mean, right now, that would mean every bit to them. Probably as much
and
as
Arsenal fans.
Yeah.
Arsenal fans would love that.
Stopping them making history. Not just winning the leagues, that's done. History.
Yeah.
That's a big deal.
And after that, then we have a couple of easier fixtures. If they get through that, they have Villa home, Brighton away, Burnley at home, and then Arsenal away, Chelsea at home, which I think is easier at home.
That's a big run-in depending on how deep you go into the Champions League, though.
Exactly.
Right?
Yeah, and other cup competitions as well, right? So it is, obviously it's possible because they've defied pretty much everything to get where they are so far. I don't know the exact number, but the amount of points they've amassed since the start of last season.
Oh, I was going to say, I would have a look at this season now, actually.
Is absolutely unbelievable, right? But
I'll have a look, actually, just a little.
So we think, the question I was going to ask is who's the potentially has the best chance to beat them. We're looking at the Everton game, the City game, and maybe Chelsea.
Yeah,
but I still can't see that.
And do you know what, though? The way Liverpool are going,
it wouldn't surprise me if they won every game. And do you know how many points they get if they won every game?
How many?
112.
That'll be a record then, I'm assuming.
By 12 points, yeah. But I did have one question. While you're looking for that, the one question I wanted to ask, right, was, and let me finish the whole sentence, right? Okay.
Yeah.
If Liverpool win the league, but City go on to win the Champions League, who has really had the better season? Or is it just ironic that both clubs would be winning the trophy that they really desire the most?
Who would have had the better season? I still think Liverpool.
But do you think that City fans would, if you ask a City fan, I think if they won the Champions League, would say, were you happy with your season? I think they'd say, yeah, really happy with their season.
I think there's only 8 Man City fans in the entire world. So if we all sat them down in one room and asked them, they probably would be happy.
But you know what I'm saying, all right?
Yeah.
So the only trophy that has eluded Liverpool at their dominance so far is the Premier League. Now, although it's not official, it is pretty much official, right? They're going to win the league. So the song, we're going to win the league,
it's very applicable.
That's fine,
now,
right?
Yeah.
You can sing away with that one. And obviously, the one that City really want to win, because they've won, was it 4 league titles now? 4 or 5 league titles they've won?
They've amassed a few, yeah.
The Guardiola side of the last 2 seasons has been incredible, the way they've played. But they brought Pep in to do one thing, and that's to win the Champions League.
And he can't do it.
That's the thing. So
you won't. I'll put money on it. He won't do it this season.
I don't think he will.
I don't think he'll do it.
But I genuinely.
They got Real Madrid.
Yes.
Nah, he ain't doing it. They ain't doing it.
Although they ain't all that at the moment,
No, Madrid ain't all that, but they got enough about them to get past that.
So I genuinely think, in my opinion, if City did win the Champions League and Liverpool won the league, I think both fans and clubs would be equally as happy.
They probably would. I'd still say Liverpool's achievement would be bigger.
Yeah. But if
especially
City,
if they go unbeaten as well.
yeah, if City don't win the Champions League and they just win a couple of lousy cups like they've been doing the last few years, that's obviously failure.
I mean, yeah, it's failure. I mean, it's not the worst season in the world, but the standards they've set, it's not there. But yeah, let us know your opinion, people. Liverpool to go unbeaten. Is it a yay? Is it a nay? I think it's a yay. I am laying down a marker now that they're going to do it.
I'm going to go with a nay. I think someone will do them.
The original devil's advocate. That's it. There he is. Yeah. Okay. Right. Cool. So we'll swing past Liverpool. We'll, there's a lot of Man United fans that watch this and they'll be like, do you really need to talk about Liverpool anymore? We do have to shine some light on them because fair play, they've been fucking incredible. So, but yeah. Okay. Moving forward, Manchester United. We'll have a quick discussion about them and the shit show that is Manchester United. Now, Ed Woodward, whilst avoiding sparklers and fireworks and everything else, managed to sign Ighalo from a coronavirus hit China on deadline day. Now, as Manchester United fans, we've come to expect some shit over the past few years, right? It's a given. We kind of go, it kind of is what it is now. If we can shout about it and cry about it until the Glazers are gone, nothing's going to happen. Ighalo, whilst he represents a smart signing, to me, he also represents a new low for that football club.
Yeah, okay. So
and I can elaborate on that if you want me to.
No, I know what you're saying with that, because it can potentially, it's potentially the latter of what you said, a new low, but it could so very quickly not be that.
Do you know what, though? A few years ago, Ighalo was a handful. No Ighalo at Watford, bro. Tearing up the Premier League. Looked like a £40 million striker. He's been in Asia for the past, 2 seasons now? And his goal-scoring record out there is not bad, right? But look, out there is...
It's a B-Tech league,
yeah,
right?
Do you know what I mean? It's not the same. It's not the same.
But he wouldn't be the first or the last player to reignite his career.
No, once you know what, he's only got a short period of time to work with, which some may say is beneficial, because if you hit the ground running and then you sort of start, you're basically going to start and end well, because realistically the time scale is so short. It's not like he's doing it over the course of 12 months. So he can put himself back in the shop window for a move maybe to another club, but I think come the summertime he needs to be discarded. I don't want to hear Ighalo's name long term.
Yeah, so the thing is, right, is that this transfer here that they've made, this loan transfer rather, we're in this position because of decisions that were made back in the summer in terms of letting Lukaku go, letting Sanchez go.
Yeah.
And obviously it was inevitable that the injuries to Marcus Rashford, Martial hasn't really been in with the team very much.
Obviously the failure to sign Erling Haaland as well.
Yeah. Now, those things happening meant that our hand has almost been forced to try and get somebody in January, right? Now, once Erling Haaland was out the window, or for whatever reasons where he didn't, he snubbed us, or we didn't do enough, whatever one it is, he didn't come, right? What's actually left in January to pick from is a very mediocre set of strikers.
Respect, it's decent, but like I said, it just represents a new low, because what Ighalo is poor planning.
Yeah. Oh, yeah, and that's, you've hit the nail on the head there. It's bad organisation. It's very poor planning. Yeah. So what they've essentially done is kind of just gone with one of the sort of best of a bad bunch, and it's kind of been played down as okay, so if he doesn't do anything, which is potentially expected by a lot of people for him to not do very much, then he just goes back to China, goes and beds back in with the coronavirus, and nobody asks any more questions, right? Because he's taken. Can you believe this? Right? He's actually joined. He's joined United, and he's taken a pay cut. That doesn't happen often, right?
Yeah, I can't think of the last time that would have happened actually. Because
anybody goes to
loves
United.
Rewarding mediocrity.
I know.
That guy will give you a good salary for doing fuck all. Let me tell you. So
it's for me, it's just a sign that I don't really want to talk about that much, because the less you talk about it, the better.
Yeah.
If he does start the odd game and he links up okay and he scores a few goals, then it can represent something okay.
Yeah.
But a question I would fire back to you then really is, cool. Okay, so if he does better than expected by quite a distance, because it could happen, right? He could bang in a few goals, right? Yeah. Not saying it will, but if he actually has quite a positive few months at United, scores a few goals, plays pretty well, what would you then say to that?
I would say your flight is on its way. You can fuck off. Like,
What I'd say is,
100% say that.
I don't mean as in like, should we keep him? That's not an option, right?
Oh no, that's
But
not.
what I mean is, would you then kind of look back at this deal and go, okay, maybe that
With
wasn't
hindsight-
that bad.
With hindsight, like I said, it represents in the long term. There is no long term, right? In the short term, like I said, it's a new low, but it's
It's a free hit, isn't
But it's
it?
the smartest option that is available to that football club right now,
Mhm.
and that's because they never planned correctly. If you sell Lukaku close to deadline day, you don't replace him. You then sell Sanchez, you don't replace him. If you know Marcus Rashford is carrying a back injury and you still do nothing about it, and then Haaland comes along, and I get why Haaland was maybe a little bit iffy, because I wouldn't want to deal with Raiola either. You know, he is a bit of a Billy bullshitter, right?
Yeah.
You know straight away there's all types of clauses in that contract. Release clause this, and you got to give me this, and it's give with one hand and take with the other with Raiola, which is expected, right? That's what football agents do. So I kind of get why they wouldn't want to deal with him, but surely you have to have someone else lined up. You have to, like, do you know what I mean?
I mean, the signs were there. It goes back in the summer. They tried to sign Mandzukic last minute, wasn't it?
Mandzukic, Dybala.
And obviously, I know they were slightly more household names than Slimani and Josh King.
I think
Ighalo.
Slimani is just newspaper talk.
Yeah.
And Josh King's actually very smart. Josh King at 40 million is not.
Yeah, and
not
you know I
bad.
said that in one of the
You
transfer
did, yeah.
videos,
If you
right?
haven't checked out our transfer videos yet, make sure you do go check them out, because
They're doing bits.
they are doing bits. Every sort of 6 months, our transfer videos, they get bigger and bigger and bigger and bigger. And I think we've had it's probably about 7,000 views so far. So, yeah.
Yeah,
So,
just from those few videos
so
alone,
we
yeah.
do.
But yeah, obviously I mentioned Josh King in the past, and you know, had they've got Josh King for sort of 40 million, I think me and you both would have kind of said, okay, but there's potential there. Like that's not that bad, right?
At Josh King at 30 million, I'd say, yeah. Josh King at 40 million, I wouldn't.
I think, yeah, I agree. Even sort of last minute, Josh King over Ighalo, and the way that he sort of plays, he tends to play in quite a fluid front line with Bournemouth, so I could possibly have seen him bedding in
I could have as well.
a bit better, and he's a current Premier League player who generally scores a good amount of goals for a side that doesn't score that many goals, right? But yeah, enough of that. So Josh King didn't happen. So the signs were there in the summer. They were sort of flirting with a few names all last minute. Nothing came of it. The same almost happened this summer, but they had even worse names to flirt with, and they've settled on Ighalo. So he is what he is.
He's there. He'll have to do.
And
for
we'll
now,
see.
Right? He's a doorstop. That's what he is.
Mhm.
He's keeping the door open until someone else comes in. All right. So hate or rate Bruno Fernandes? What are you saying? Do you think he's going to be worth the hype? There's a lot of pressure on Bruno Fernandes right now.
Yeah, I feel for him as well, because I don't think I can say hate or rate yet, because he's played 90 minutes, right? And
It was a good 90 minutes though.
for him it was, yeah.
Very good 90 minutes.
Yeah, I liked how, you know, yes, he's regarded as kind of a number 10, but from what I've seen and the people that talk about him, he's also almost as, well, he's regarded just as good in sitting back a bit deeper
Yeah.
and sort of pinging balls as he is playing in number 10. I mean, you could see a lot of
His characteristics.
sort of, you could see a lot of moments in the Wolves game where that came through. So I think it was a pretty good debut for him.
Mm-hmm.
Obviously, the result wasn't the best. But if you're asking me for a prediction, I think that he will live up to his hype.
I think he will as well, yeah. I saw enough in that one game to suggest
Yeah.
he's significantly above everything else United have.
Yeah, but my only concern is that how much United as a team and as a club could stunt that for him, because we have a really frustrating recent track record of ruining players.
Yeah, United is, or Old Trafford, should I say, is a bit of a graveyard for talent. Yeah, it is. That's a
And I feel like if he'd have gone to City, for example, and he'd have been the main man in that position of City, I would probably put my a month's wages on him probably being a success.
Oh, yeah. Tell me about him.
At United, could he still be a success? Yeah, of course, but I think the percentages are a little bit lower. It depends on sort of who the manager is, how long the manager stays there for, and sort of how the rest of the team plays, you know. So
do you know, somebody on Twitter, I will wrap up Fernandes in a minute, made this really interesting point, and he said that Bruno Fernandes was a Mauricio Pochettino target for Spurs, so they were just getting him ready, basically bringing him in ready for Poch.
yeah.
Which it leads me nicely into what I'm going to say next, because we'll touch upon another potential Pochettino signing, right? Jack Grealish. Now,
Okay.
we had this little debate earlier on, and I want your opinion, people, as well. if I give you a budget in the summer and I say, let's say you're part of the traditional top 6, right? And you need some type of creativity. And I say to you, you can have one of James Maddison or Jack Grealish. Who would you go for and why?
Okay, so you're asking me in the here and now, as of today, Jack Grealish.
Do you know what, though? I'm kind of that opinion as well.
But if you'd have asked me and you 4 or 5 months ago, the answer would have been opposite.
They are the two. They're so similar in their game. Grealish reminds me of a Rui Costa. The socks down low.
Yeah.
He kind of glides around the pitch, super technical. He's just so technically gifted. He's got vision. He's not got a lot of pace, but he kind of just still.
He's got the attributes that work around that, though. Yeah. What I'm liking from Jack Grealish is that he's in a far worse team than what Maddison is. Obviously, they're pretty much opposite ends of the table, right? But he's still doing as good, if not better, churning out better performances. Now, there's 2 ways you can look at that. The first is he will stand out because those around him aren't of very good quality.
That's facts, yeah.
Is one way. Whereas Maddison is in a team where there's a few more stars, shall we say, like a Vardy, Tielemans, you've got your Chilwells. There's just a better quality, so other people will share the limelight, right? But then there's the opposite you could look at, which is, well, for a team like Villa that doesn't have a lot of good players who aren't playing well, it's arguably harder to stand out because they might not get a lot of the ball.
True.
So, but I've seen a lot from Jack Grealish where he's really stood up.
Do you know what? That's what I liked about him, character.
Yeah.
Not that Maddison doesn't have that, and if you said to me, look, here's some unlimited sums of money, I would take Maddison, right? But Grealish represents a cheaper option. He's a more cost-effective option, and he slots into so many teams.
I feel like he plays a wider variety of positions as well. You saw the goal he scored at Old Trafford, the screamer. He was on the left and he cut inside, and that's not a Maddison goal for me, right? But currently on form, I feel like Grealish can kind of do a lot of what Maddison can do. But I don't think Maddison at the moment can do some of the things that Grealish does.
I got you.
I think he can play sort of across the midfield and in sort of a front 3.
You think Maddison's a bit more rigid?
You just said rigid number 10, yeah. But he's obviously better from a dead ball, so.
Yeah, both
Grealish.
terrific players. Again, people, let us know your opinion. If you could have one or the other, who'd you pick? Why'd you pick them? It's going to be an interesting summer because I don't think Maddison will leave. I think he's happy at Leicester. I think he might wait another season or 2. Grealish will definitely go in the summer. Even if Villa stay up, I think he's Villa. Villa have I've read it earlier today. I think it's Villa were the biggest spenders alongside Real Madrid.
Yeah.
And Villa they have, I think it's a loss of it's just under 150 million. Any Villa fans out there, correct me if I'm wrong. But yeah, they're going to need to basically do a sport in Lisbon and cash in.
That's the thing. If they get relegated, he's 100% gone. Even if they survive, it's getting to that point where he's a very talented prospect. You wouldn't even say prospect anymore. He was a prospect a few years ago. He's a very talented player.
Yeah.
I suppose another question is, will they both go to the World Cup? Will one go over the other? England have got decent midfield options.
Jack Grealish is cut from that Declan Rice cloth where they're kind of Irish one minute and English next. A bit like me when when I'm Irish one minute and Welsh the next. Yeah, so I fuck with it. It's cool. Like, dual nationality, but yeah, it's going to be interesting, bro. So I'm pretty much done, bro, in terms of what I have to say. Wrap it up for me. Bring it home.
Yeah. I got us. We're gonna pilot this shit, right? So, we haven't, or I haven't given you very many stats, if any, in this episode so far. So I just thought I read this. Obviously, I heard this stat and I thought, geez, like that can't be right. Obviously, I verified it and it's 100% true, right? So we like our stats. Please stop staring at my laptop, okay? Now I'm delving into the championship for this stat.
Yeah.
Have you seen it?
No.
Right. Now, on the V&V podcast, it's not just Premier League football. We dabble in a bit of sort of European football, a bit of everything, right? Now, we've mentioned numerous times in the past how for a team that's, let's say, bottom half of the table or fighting relegation, whether it be the Premier League or the Championship, or if your team is trying to get promoted from the Championship to the Premier League, what's one things that you need to have to maybe avoid relegation if you're staying up, in terms of a striker.
Okay, so, a goal scorer.
A goal scorer.
Okay.
Now, you look in the past, all the clubs that have maybe not been too great but have stayed up is probably because they've got a goal scorer, right? Okay, and if a team that's looking to get promoted, they normally need a goal scorer. If you lack a goal scorer,
you're not doing nothing.
Then it's very difficult. Yeah. Okay. Now, the bizarre stat of the week, I'm going to call this, or the stat of the week. Now, this one is about West Brom.
Okay.
Obviously, West Brom are 4 points clear at the top of the championship now. Yeah.
Okay.
So they're 4 points clear.
I haven't been keeping track, though. Okay.
So it's a very good race at the moment, because you've got Leeds just behind, and obviously Brentford, you've got Fulham, and it's a clusterfuck. But West Brom, they're 4 points top the championship, despite not having one single player in the top 20 goal scorers in the league.
So how does that work? Are the goals just shared out amongst the
You've got Charlie Austin, who's on 9. The water boy is on 7. No, Charlie Austin's on 9. Matt Phillips on 7, and
Park Live.
And Hal Robson-Khan, who's on 7.
Hal's still playing.
He is, yeah.
I didn't realise. Shout out to Hal, yeah.
But the top 22 goal scorers in the championship, 22nd person on the list has 10 championship goals. So my question is, how the fuck are you top of the championship?
Yeah, that's bizarre.
And you don't even have not one prolific player.
I would
really.
never. That is, yes, probably one of the maddest stats we've ever had. It might be the maddest, mine, because I can't quite fathom that. I'm sat here trying to work. I'm like Alan in The Hangover when he's in the casino trying to work everything out.
All the like the calculations.
I just can't quite work it out.
You can't imagine a side getting promoted to the Premier League.
No, I can't.
And staying up and not having.
No, I can't fathom it.
Yeah, so that was the stat.
So move it on, because my brain's gonna fry.
Yeah. And just something a little bit different. So something when we do these episodes, when we do these episodes, it's something that'd be quite easy and something we can look at. Maybe a little bit of humour, maybe a bit of seriousness, maybe a bit of combination of the both, right? So we're gonna finish on this, is it? Yeah. So it's the top 3 hits and misses of the week.
Yeah, man.
Okay.
Hit me with it.
So should we start with hits or misses?
Let's go with the positive. Let's go with the hits.
Start with the hits. Okay. So for me, the one I picked, the number 1 hit of the week is Sheffield United.
Yeah.
So they fought their way to a tough win against a struggling Bournemouth side who need points at the moment, so it wasn't an easy game. They came away with a 2-1 victory, and they now sit 5th.
That's incredible.
You heard that right?
Yeah,
that's 5th in the Premier League. That's Sheffield United, who, and if you didn't say this, you're lying, most people would have tipped them to be relegated.
I might have done that.
Yeah, and I think I also might have done that. Nobody could foresee this happening. They sit, I'm going to say it again, they sit 5th in the Premier League. I know there's one or two teams behind them that have got a game in hand, right, but they currently sit 5th. They're 2 points as it stands off Champions League spot.
Yeah.
Chris Wilder has done, if it wasn't for Jurgen Klopp, who will win Manager of the Season, it would be Chris Wilder. Yeah. They've been unbelievable. So for me, for what they do in their number 1.
Okay, cool.
Number 2, we're going away from the Premier League. We're going to go into Serie A.
Okay.
And number 2 is going to be Inter Milan's stunning comeback win from 2-0 down at half-time against AC Milan.
That was iconic, yeah.
Yeah. It finished 4-2. So in doing so, they knocked Juve off the top spot on goal difference.
Imagine
currently.
Ashley Young is top of Serie A.
Honestly, right? There's a Premier League contingent, right, in that game, but in the Inter team. So you've got, it's like an ex-United player, like Fest. So you've got Lukaku and Ibra. Yeah. On obviously opposite sides, Ashley Young, Alexis Sanchez, Victor Moses, Christian Eriksen.
Who else are we missing?
I think that was it.
I'm sure that might be it actually. Unless I'm missing
but there's about 17 for one Inter side of ex-United players. But that was a great game. Obviously, I didn't see the whole game. I've watched back a lot of the highlights, sort of the goals. Obviously, it's a big rivalry game, isn't it? They play in the same stadium.
It is iconic. It's one of the biggest games in the world.
It's a fixture that's kind of gone a bit diluted over the last few years. Inter and AC both went a bit shit.
They just became limp dicks, bro. That's all they
became.
But
it's on its way back, I think.
Inter
for definite, so the fixture was spiced up a bit.
Serie A this year. I might chuck some money on that, actually.
You've got Inter in first on 54 points, joint but less on goal difference is Juve on 54 points, and you've actually got Lazio on 53 points. And Lazio play Inter Milan next week. So there's bits going on. It's nice to see an Italian league that isn't just being walked by Juve for a change, because they've won it for 172 years in a row.
8 seasons.
Haven't they? 8 seasons, yeah.
Crazy.
Cool. Number 3.
Yeah.
I've gone for Everton / Carlo Ancelotti,
Doing a wicked
because they come as a pair currently. Under Marco Silva,
the Don Ancelotti.
it won't work in. But under Ancelotti, it is.
I would love Ancelotti. You've been Manchester United manager. I would have absolutely loved him. But I'll leave it at that. I'm not going to get into much depth because I get upset.
But they now sit 7th. Yes, as I said, other teams have games in hand, but they sit 7th currently.
Yeah.
Richarlison and Calvert-Lewin as a 2, playing up as a 4-4-2. They both look decent at the moment. They're both scoring goals.
Shout out to them.
And I think that's down to Ancelotti. So
Yeah.
they go in number 3 of the hits this week.
Aye.
On to the misses. Not my misses, or yours.
Hey.
So number 1 in the misses of the week, I'm going to go for Jordan Pickford.
Oh, T-Rex arms Pickford.
Unfortunately, he had a bit of a howler, as you probably would have seen.
This happens every 3 months with Jordan Pickford. Though.
And he doesn't like criticism, right? Even though people, they praise him when he makes a good save, he doesn't like when it goes the other way. Now, Christian Benteke hadn't scored a goal since 102 BC. To be correct, since April 2019, he hadn't scored since, right?
Feels about the same.
About BC, isn't it? Yeah.
Feels about the same time.
And Jordan Pickford thought, I'll help you out, bro. Don't you worry about that. You're not going to score normally.
That's what he is.
I'm a giver.
He's a giver.
So he just opened his legs and he just let it go through.
Like all the givers do.
So Jordan Pickford, you're in at number 1.
Yeah.
Number 2, with Dele Alli.
Oh, bro,
Do you tell me about this one?
I kind of saw the story. So he put up a Snapchat with a mask on, making fun of the coronavirus, right?
Yeah. So when he dropped the mask, it revealed like an Asian filtered man, and then the camera panned towards a bottle of antiseptic hand gel.
Oh, look, all this PC culture. I'm not going to get into it again now. 'Cause it's only a short podcast. But you can all fuck off.
Yeah.
You can all just fuck off. The coronavirus originated from China. He's not wrong. Whole of China is on lockdown. Stop being so sensitive.
Yeah.
Fuck up.
So there's that side of it which I 100% agree with.
Do you know what I mean?
But the flip side is, you just think when players do things like this, especially as Dele Alli and the Mourinho has regained his form and is making a good sort of call for the England squad.
Yeah.
Whereas before Mourinho, you would have thought he had no chance. So he's doing really well, and you just think, he had that thing in the past with the video of him with that bird in his room, and you just think, just stay out of trouble, bro. And you're mocking the coronavirus. Do you know what I mean? It don't bother me, but the FA are now investigating him, and you just think, decisions, just make decisions.
Oh,
I've made a few bad decisions in my time. Admiral will tell you that, but
I ain't getting
and if you're watching it, we can testify to that, right?
We'll move swiftly on from that because we don't want to go into that.
But it's not a great decision.
All right, let's wrap this up. Who's the last one?
You need to tell me about this one. Number 3, Zlatan Ibrahimovic.
All right, I picked Zlatan purely because AC Milan, I think that first half represented the final stages now of Zlatan's career. He peaked, got his goal, got his assist, 45 minutes. He looked like a god. As the game wore on, AC Milan wore on, and he couldn't just carry them on his back anymore. He couldn't. And Lukaku's the man in town. If I'm lying, I'm dying. Lukaku is the man in that town. He will never be as good as Ibrahimovic, but sadly, Ibra, what's he, 37, 38? He must be about 30.
Yeah,
he's
definitely late 30s.
That's him done now. I mean, terrific on the goal and assist, but that's it. If AC Milan have any aspirations of doing something proper, you need to go out and find a Lukaku.
Yeah. He will get them, a good, decent tally of goals, because he will always score goals. But, Peter Crouch continued to score goals,
Shit, you're not wrong, bro. That's a very accurate comparison.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But, he'll always be a good target man. He'd be good with his head. But, like you say, if AC Milan have any aspirations of getting back to where they needed to be, he's not the right player now.
No, cool. All right, we'll wrap it up. Remember, add us up on social media platforms. We got my Mino Raiola video, Becky's top 10 Brazilians. Got our transfer videos. I'm missing a video. Which one am I missing? The Forgotten Genius.
Of course.
The Forgotten Genius again.
The irony.
The sheer irony of that, right?
Unscripted.
Yeah, very unscripted. And make sure you check them all out. Don't forget to subscribe. we are going to be doing massive things over the next couple of months, so stay tuned. There'll be guests from across so many different genres, hopefully starting over the next couple of weeks. We'll be back next week, same time.
We shall.
Take care, people. Ciao.
Ciao.